during that time period, I know there were some questions about whether you were afraid of the defendant, which you just testified about. You were afraid of being charged and afraid of losing your job. Which were you more afraid of at that point in time?
Afraid of for my life and the life of my children.
There were some questions, and you stated that during this time frame you were discussing some of what was happening when you were interviewed by law enforcement with the defendant. Why were you discussing that with the defendant? First, actually, let's stop. Let's strike that one. Whose idea was it to discuss what was happening with law enforcement?
Can you rephrase that?
Yeah, maybe, probably not a very good question, probably my fault. Did the defendant ask you what law enforcement was asking you, or did you just volunteer it to the defendant?
I volunteered it to the defendant.
And why?
I guess deep down I thought maybe he would realize what he did and confess.
Would it be fair to say you were hoping that law enforcement would solve this so you wouldn't have to talk about it?
Yes.
You recall that there were some questions about consent to search the boat and the cabin. You recall that?
Yes.
At that point in time when that's being requested by law enforcement, were you aware whether or not Stephanie Lowe was buried at the cabin, specifically right on the property where the cabin was?
Was I aware that she was buried at the cabin?
Right.
No.
Okay. Were you aware she was buried somewhere off of the cabin property?
Yes.
And why is that? How did you come to know that?
Because Chris had told me that.
What did he tell you had happened when he got back from getting the shovel at the location you told him to?
He said when he came back to the cabin, there was a truck there. I can't remember if he said he saw two guys or not, but there was a truck there. So they just went down the road, and he said he rode down to the road, and the next road, and my impression was that that next road was where he had buried her, and he said he put a rock on top of it.
There were some questions about, and you had testified on direct, about the shoes and that you didn't see them again, and then some questions about whether you were living apart at some point in time. Do you know, did you pack up all the defendant's property at some point in time?
Yes, because he had to move out of that Fergie Street apartment.
And what did you do with the property when you packed it up?
I believe I put it in, I can't remember.
Okay, but you packed it up for him?
Yes.
All right. And was that shirt or those shoes there when you packed up his property?
No.
Did you ever see that shirt after Stephanie Lowe was murdered?
No.
Did you ever again see those shoes after Stephanie Lowe was murdered?
No.
The counsel asked you a lot of questions about a lot of interviews, and fair to say you can't remember a lot of the specifics about many of the interviews. Is that accurate?
Yes.
You were interviewed a lot of times, correct?
Yes.
Would it be fair to say that a lot of those interviews kind of blended to one?
Yes.
How many times has your boyfriend come home or the father of one of your children come home and said that they just murdered someone?
Never prior to this.
Ever again after this?
No.
Is it fair to say that was a relatively traumatic event?
Yes.
Does that help with your memory based on the fact that this was a very traumatic event?
Yeah.
You were asked about having told law enforcement that the boat was taken up to the cabin in Wabeno because of the fact that the defendant needed a place to park his Jeep. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Whose idea was it to tell law enforcement that that was the reason for taking the boat up there?
I don't remember. I think it was Chris's.
Was that something he suggested that you would tell law enforcement as well?
I don't remember exactly.
Okay, that's fine. Counsel asked you on February 12th of 2013, and what you said to law enforcement. I believe your words were something like, "You have to promise me that the defendant will not get out." Remember that?
I remember that statement.
Why did you ask them that at that point in time?
Because he kept getting in and out of jail for little things, and I was afraid for my life.
You also said in cross-examination that on February 12th, you were, I believe, it was upset, worried, and scared. Of what?
Chris?
You were also asked, and I think you said, counsel said something like, you said 3 times, I didn't help Barry, or I didn't help Barry, or I didn't help Barry. Remember that?
I don't remember those exact words.
It was something like that.
Yeah.
Did you actually help to bury Stephanie Lowe's body?
No, I did not.
Where were you when that was happening?
When I was either on the way home or at home already.
You were also asked about what you had reviewed. When was the last time you had a chance to review a report that was written by law enforcement of any kind?
It's been a while.
Was it around the time of that February 2013 interview?
That would sound correct.
Is it the last time that you can remember reviewing the report? Actually, I think, did you review some reports when you testified at the grand jury?
I don't remember.
Okay. Well, outside of possibly then, have you reviewed a law enforcement report since then?
No.
As you're driving, what do you know, with the defendant behind you, what are you thinking?
I'm scared. I'm thinking, how can I get out of this? And once again, I was thinking I could call, but he's right behind me. He'll see me. I don't know what he'll do. I have the kids in the car.
Did you know at that point in time he just killed Stephanie Lowe?
Yes.
Since you finally were able to tell law enforcement what happened on February 12th, 2013, has what you told law enforcement been consistent?
Yes.
Well, I'll check to a legal conclusion.
Is what you told them similar to, consistent with what you told this jury today?
Yes.
May I put your honor?
It's at 255.
The marks for identification is exhibit 255. That's your grand jury testimony, is that correct?
Yes.
Counsel asked you about basically one question, which was one or two questions, which is on page 5 of that. Do you recall that? It says, now I want to take you back to October 2010. I did something, I need to fix it. Yes.
Yes.
What I'd like you to do is I want you to then read for the jury out loud all of page 6, page 7, and page 8 to right there, okay? Here, I'm going to just mark this file. Once you stop. Okay.
So, starting on page 6, the question was, did you notice any scratches on Kristopher Torgerson? Answer was yes. Question, and what did you notice? Answer, a scratch over his left eye. It would have been of his left eye right here. Question, and did he specifically say that he did something to Stephanie? Answer, yes. Question, did he specifically make a cutting motion with the finger across his neck? Answer, yes. Question, and did he ask to take the boat up to the cabin? Answer, yes. Question, and whose boat was that and whose cabin? Answer, it's my boat and it would be my mother's cabin. Question, and where is that cabin located? Answer, in Lavino, Wisconsin. Question, now did you agree to drive to the cabin and have him follow you? Answer, yes. Question, and why did you agree to do that? Were you afraid? Answer, I was afraid, and with everything that was going on, I was so shocked and couldn't remember the directions on my own to just tell him. Question, now did you take your van with your 2 kids and meet Torgerson? Answer, yes. It would have been 3. It would have been 3 kids. Question, okay, where did you meet him at prior to going up to the cabin? Answer, at a gas station called the Store in Weston. Question, and when you met with him, did you notice a tarp in the second row of seats in the Jeep? Answer, yes. Question, and can you describe to the grand jury what that tarp looked like? Answer, it was a lighter blue color, and then it looked like it had something rolled up in it, and it was laying in the second row of seats, not in the very back, and it looked like it had an additional tarp, it looked like it was a darker color, either crumpled up or folded up on top of one of the ends, unless it was the existing tarp just rolled over. Question, now once you arrived at the cabin, did Torgerson ask for directions to a hardware store to purchase a shovel? Answer, yes. Question, and after he asked you that, did he hand you anything? Answer, yes. Or answer, he attempted to hand me some money that had blood spots on it. Question, you didn't accept that money? Answer, no. Question, now, did you leave shortly thereafter he asked you about those directions to the hardware store? Answer, yes. I told him the direction to go and then I left. Question, and where did you go from there? Back to your home? Answer, home.
Thank you, Your Honor. I move the admission of Exhibit 255 at this point in time.
No objection. It is received.
Now, counsel also asked you some questions about taking your van on August 24th, 2011. As of that point in time, did he still have his Jeep? Or had it been repossessed?
It had been repossessed.
So he didn't have the Jeep then?
No.
And just so it's clear, and I know counsel asked about this and about when he said something about what happened to Stephanie, did he clearly say, I did something to Stephanie?
Yes.
And the I being the defendant?
Yes.
Ms. Wadinski, are you sorry that you lied to law enforcement for so long?
Yes.
And were you ever told by anyone who was from the prosecutor's office you would not be charged with anything if you cooperated and testified?
No.
And for the record, the grand jury testimony, it's on the front. It was on April 3rd of 2013.
Yes.
I don't have any other legal record. Thank you.
Okay, cross-limited to the redirect?
Yes, did you know why you were brought in front of the federal grand jury to talk about the state homicide case? You know,
Objection, Your Honor, calls for speculation.
if she knows.
The answer is she was.
I don't know.
Were you paid any benefits by the federal government in exchange for your cooperation?
Objection, beyond the scope of my redirect.
We just talked about her testimony from the federal grand jury.
You're going to another area. Sustained.
Okay.
Okay, you should be released from the subpoena.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
I think our next witness will be here in about 5 minutes.
Okay, so I'll take a 5-minute break and. Okay. Let me speak to the attorneys briefly before they leave.